So Black Flag is kind of the original punk band that started it all. And their guitar player and founding member was Greg Ginn. Now, Black Flag took a band on tour in the early 80s named Husker Du and kind of gave them their big break. And who is the bass player in Husker Du? Greg Norton. So we got Greg Ginn and Greg Norton. Now, the lead vocalist for Black Flag and original founding member was Keith Morris. Keith Morris didn't last very long in Black Flag, got fired, and started a band called the Circle Jerks. And who was his founding member guitar player in the Circle Jerks? Greg Hetson. Now, Greg Hetson started a new band shortly after founding the Circle Jerks called Bad Religion. And who was his lead singer in Bad Religion? Greg Graffin. Now, back to the Circle Jerks. Who was the original drummer in the Circle Jerks? A guy named Lucky Lair. But Lucky's just a nickname. His real name is Keith Lair. Lucky or Keith Lair would only last a couple albums. Then the Circle Jerks would eventually land on a more permanent drummer. And what was his name? Keith Clark. So just to recap the history of punk rock, we have Greg Ginn, Greg Norton, Greg Hetson, Greg Graffin, Keith Morris, Keith Lair, and Keith Clark. That's the entire history of punk rock right there. Gregs and Keiths. Fucking crazy.